They're the superstars of social media, so get your succulents ready for their close-up.
Plant babies always get the best likes.
Guilty of killing your veggie patch? Graham will have you turning over a new leaf.
Little tips that you might like to try this weekend.
Oh, little babies. Oh, big babies. Yes, you'll get me lots of likes. Yes, you will. Have you noticed these guys trending on social media? Aren't they cute? And there's thousands and thousands of them. In fact, they're so popular, there are more nurseries now than ever growing and propagating the humble succulent. So I've come to Empire Nursery in Glenorrhy, New South Wales, to ask the experts why. Troy, this place is absolutely incredible, isn't it?
It's pretty good here.
It's amazing.
It's good growing conditions. So
and you know, I mean, hey, houseplants have been on the rise for ages, but what is it about succulents that people love?
Look, there's definitely a cute factor there. Extremely easy to grow. We originally started growing them as sort of interest plants, grandma's garden type stuff. Now, 3- and 4-year-olds are collecting succulents, and it's just turned into a great big fad.
It has. I mean, Instagram helps with that.
Oh, absolutely.
So, Troy, what have we got here?
A selection of plants that are quite popular at the moment.
Yeah, they're echeverias, right?
They are echeverias. Most of these are.
So what makes an echeveria an echeveria?
Rosette form, usually. They are very easy to propagate plant. You can pull individual leaves off. They'll throw pups off the side.
What's this one? I haven't seen this one.
No, this is a rare one. Reuben cross with Romeo, which is one of the more collector ones. This one, very special one. It's called Hovii variegata.
Yeah, it's got really nice change in foliage, doesn't it? So it's got pink on the outside and then the variegated on the inside.
Absolutely beautiful. Change of seasons. It's cool weather. It gets a lot of pink in it.
It'd look lovely in the front of a border, wouldn't it?
Absolutely would be. Yeah, beautiful little plant.
Well, they've got a pretty good common name, haven't they?
Yeah, absolutely. The mother-in-law's tongue.
Yeah.
Toughest goat's knees they are.
Toughest goat's knees.
Absolutely toughest goat's knees.
People know the big tall ones.
Yeah. Laurentii. It's been around for many, many years.
It has, but what about these ones?
A lot of dwarf varieties around now, again, very popular. The one you've got there, it's honey-eyed jade marginata, a rare variety. Nice variegated leaves, really easy to grow. Bathrooms, very low light, very forgiving.
Yeah.
Yep.
So it's like my mother-in-law. I name it Angela. There we go.
Ripsalis, one of my favourite plants.
They're fantastic, aren't they? They're
absolutely.
Mistletoe cactus.
Yep, mistletoe cactus, yep. Many varied varieties. This one here is called Campos portoana. It probably gets to about 1 metre long. Yep. They require a very small amount of potting mix, so you can grow a huge plant in a tiny pot.
And like an orchid potting mix, something like that?
Yeah, pretty free draining. As long as it's free draining, that's all they need.
And also they make for a pretty good fancy dress as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, what we have here, Charlie, is a range of crassulas. Fantastic plant for the garden, either landscaping or as a solitary specimen type plant.
Yeah, and these are jades for...
Absolute jades.
The thing I love about all these forms is they have that nice tight bun shape.
They are really good informal hedge.
And there's variegated forms which I haven't seen before.
Absolutely, yeah, that's a variegated crassula bluebird.
And you've got the aptly named Shrek's ears over there.
That's Shrek's ears there, yeah.
And what are these two down here?
These two here?
Yeah.
So that's one of our newest ones out there. It's one that's called Dwarf Hummel Sunset. It's one of the only crassulas that you can grow from scratch indoors.
Right. And it doesn't get any of the, bugs and pests? That sort of problem?
No, it's fantastic. Really tough little plant.
Now, this group of plants is the kalanchoes. They have such a variety of texture and colour, don't they?
They do. It's with the tomatos, say fairy finish. Very drought-tolerant plant.
Yep.
Take an absolute beating in the sun.
Now, the boys that work for me, they call these dead rabbits, these plants.
Yeah, do look a bit like that.
Yeah. And I've used quite a lot of this copper spoons and silver spoons.
Very much so.
They give you a much more sort of shrubby feel.
Yeah, they do. And once again, it can be an informal hedge, especially the silver spoons.
Yep.
It's fantastic.
Is there a trick to keeping them dense? Is it just tipping out the tops?
Tipping out the tops. Yeah. With silver spoons, this is a very good cultivar, this one. It's naturally bushy.
And the good old flapjacks, of course.
Flapjacks, yeah. Very easy to look after again. Yes. The only sort of maintenance you do with those is if you have them long enough, they'll get a terminal flower spike. Just cut that out. The mother plant will die, but as before the mother plant dies, little pups will come around the base. You've got a bushy little plant.
Yeah, fantastic. They've got to be some of the world's cutest, most photogenic plants. And at Troy's succulent nursery in Glenorchy, many start out life like this. So, Troy, the thing people love about succulents is how easy they are to propagate.
Absolutely.
Have a look at this. This looks fantastic. All the little babies laid out
Anyone
like
can
that.
do it.
Yeah. I thought this one had a severe case of hemorrhoids, but it doesn't.
It's throwing a little baby.
So you just pluck the leaf off,
Yeah.
pop it on top of some soil?
Exactly right.
Like that?
This is a type of Pacuvaria.
Yeah.
You throw them all on the surface, leave it probably about 3 months. You have little babies coming up, they'll throw aerial roots, grab the surface and plug them in.
It's amazing, isn't it? You can bring one plant home from the nursery, spread it out, and you've got 10 more.
Take 10, 15 leaves off it, drop the price of the plant to about 50 cents.
Yeah, that's amazing, isn't it? So as well as the leaf propagation, are there any other ways to make more succulents?
Actually, there are. There's an unusual way. This plant here is called a sempervivin. You need to make the plant think it's about to die in the wild. And what you do, you just drill not too deep, otherwise you'll kill the plant. Just enough, like this.
That's drastic. OK.
When you've done that,
Yep.
pull it out. There's a little hole in the centre of it. A few months later, what you'll find is a whole lot of little babies taking on the outside. The plant will start looking horrible.
Yes.
It'll die, but all these babies will take over, throw little roots down, and suddenly you've got 14 plants.
Pluck
instead
them
of
off
one.
and plant them out.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I've never seen that
Absolutely.
before. That's great.
No, fantastic. Then the other one is Haworthias.
OK.
So most Haworthias throw a lot of babies. To get this one to propagate, you need to crown it. Get your clean secateurs in there,
Yep.
like that, and then plant that one in the soil surface.
And so the roots will just come out of that.
The roots will just
base
start
there.
coming from there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
OK.
and that's a new little plant ready to go.
Yep. So that's propagating plants, but what are the common problems?
Simple as having the plant in the wrong position, like this Echeveria. So what you do, just
Straight
cut
through.
the head straight off,
Yep.
leave that one, strip a couple of leaves off,
Do you need that to sort of scab over? Because I know with
maybe leave it for a week or so.
Okay.
You don't want it too long. Straight in some potting mix. Be very careful with the amount of watering you do, just low on the watering. And you'll probably get 5 or 6 little babies going all around the back.
So I've got a question for you as well.
Oh, yeah.
Now, this isn't one of my succulents, of course, because everything in my garden looks perfect all the time. But you see this, the little dots that are formed?
Yep.
What's...
That would probably be too much water at the wrong time of year, and it's just cell walls bursting in the plant, and you just get it shows up as a little brown spot.
Obviously, I was asking for a friend. I'll let them know.
Yeah, no problem, mate. Yeah, you let them know that.
Of course, yeah, of course. So you've told us how to fix the problems.
Yep.
What's the ideal way to grow a succulent? Because a lot of people bring them home and do nothing with them and think
Absolutely.
they're going to just last forever.
Well, I guess first of all is the potting mix.
Yeah.
You really should use a cactus and succulent type potting mix.
Wow, this is a free draining mix,
It is
isn't it?
very much
It's
a
just
free
not
draining
even
mix.
holding together.
No, we've worked on this mix for about 15 years now, so you could grow babies and chocolates in this.
Babies and chocolates.
Absolutely.
So how often would you water them then?
If you got it, in the middle of summer, you might be up to twice a week. When you come to things like more shade-tolerant plants, it might be once every 2 or 3 weeks.
I love doing succulent bowls. They're just instant impact.
Absolutely.
You can have an array of different plants, colours and textures.
Yeah, and obviously variable. The ones I'm doing here are more for your shade area. You could have it on a patio on
Okay.
southern side of the house or something like that.
And I've got some
Whereas
sun
you've got
lovers
the
here.
sun lovers there.
All right. Well, I think that's my one done.
Mine's
Your
done as
one
well.
done.
And you owe me 20.
Well, you reckon I owe you 20. What I will do is I'll put it on my Instagram and I'll have people vote on whose is the best. Huh?
Done.
And then I won't be anywhere near you to give you your $20 because you got the pick of the plants.
I did get the pick of the plants.
Does opening your pantry door throw you into an absolute head spin? It's no wonder it gets out of control because everyone is foraging around on these shelves every day. So what we need to do is set up a system so it stays tidy once and for all. And while we're at it, let's take care of under the sink as well. This one certainly needs it. First tip, get everything out Take a little stock of what you've got. It seems a bit drastic to take the whole door off, but trust me, it gives you a lot more room to work. It's amazing how much stuff can come out of one little cupboard. I'll take care of this lot soon. I'll get it all organised, but first up, what I need to do is actually get these shelves looking sparkly clean. A bit of paper towel will do the trick. Wring it out and get stuck in. It probably seems like a little bit of work to get everything out of the cupboard, but trust me, I reckon it's the best way to take stock of what you've got. Now, the first thing you need to do is check your use-by dates. I can already see one here, 19, don't think we need that anymore. Now remember, as you're chucking things out, start a shopping list so you can top up when you need to. White vinegar added to the list. Now the next thing to do is actually to start grouping. So match like with like. So all of your herbs and spices, they'll come together. And anything that's in packaging that you can consolidate will save you a lot of room and also help you to keep an eye on levels. And things that will actually go off or stale, things like tea bags, they can go in jars. So group it all together and you can see exactly what you're dealing with. Okay, so once you're grouped and sorted, honestly, if you put this straight back into the pantry, you know what's going to happen. It's all going to end up in exactly the same state, probably within about a week. So you need to come up with a system, and a system can only be kept if you have good storage. So to save yourself money, because let's face it, storage is expensive, hunt around the house and see what you've got. So here, magazine files. These are great for pantries. You can use them upright. They've got ventilation in the sides. Perfect for holding things like vegetables, onions. When you shop for them, you can just pop them straight in, and that just keeps them together, stops them rolling around in the cupboard, and that stacks nice and neatly. But if you lay these down on their backs, that should become like little dividers, which are ideal for things like all of your wraps. So foils, Glad wraps, you can stack those in, and you can stack them high and they're easily accessible. Other things like your tea bags and your pastas and, you know, like your dried pulses like this, once you open the packet, you know what happens. They go everywhere, so store them in airtight containers. Now, this is what I was saying, these can add up if you get lots of those. So to save yourself a bit of money, why not recycle your jars? Just grab them out of the recycling bin, run them through the dishwasher or give them a hot soapy wash. Now with the lids, what I've done here is just sprayed them, and I've used chalk paint. So if you actually put this down on a lower shelf to identify what's inside, you can easily write on the tops. It's a really great way to save money and also see exactly what you've got and keep it neat and tidy. None of these labels are any good if you can't see them, so I have an idea to make everything easily visible. Now you've seen me make these before, so popular, easy enough as well. So you can customise them to suit the width of your cupboard. So basically that's the front one on short little legs. And if you make one at the back with taller legs, you can see you can basically stack your food in a tiered system. So grab your timber, cut it to size. If you've got a drill bit that will countersink, actually do that as well because it makes it nice and neat. And then just choose the height of your little legs and grab some woodworking glue. Pop that on and just screw the two end pieces together. Really a simple project. You could leave it at that. Otherwise, you could take a piece of sandpaper and just clean up the edges, which of course gives it a more professional finish. You could just varnish it or you could stain, which is what I'm going to do. Now we're ready to start getting this pantry organised, and I have some great ideas to show you. I want to show you how to make a lazy Susan, which I think is a game changer for any pantry. To make the perfect circle, basically it's just a stick of timber and you measure down halfway across the diameter of your circle. It's where my screw goes. Just sit it on the board, make sure you spin it around so you've got plenty of clearance. Just screw it in a little bit, not far, just a little bit, just to hold it. And then you can see it spins around. Grab your pencil at one end, and then you can just very carefully mark out your circle. Easy. Next, we find our centre points and attach our Lazy Susan bearing plate to the base wood and our circle. Oh, look at that. All she needs now is staining. Pretty good. So I think you'll agree, with a few hours work and some clever storage tips, you can work wonders with your pantry too. So everything now has its place, and you know this sort of system is easily maintained by the whole family. You can put all your cake tins up top, all of your wraps where you can see when they're running low. And this is your high use area. So the baskets can come out, they can go away easily. You can see when your snacks are running low. And this area, the tins, which are notorious, you tend to buy too many because you never quite know what you've got. With a shopping list, you won't overspend. So I think this has worked brilliantly. And my favorite part probably would have to be Susan. She's not lazy, she's doing a great job. So get it organised. And if that's not enough, take a look at under the sink. So much better, and no major work done in here. It's just the use of clever organisation. So we've got a bucket to hold all of your cleaning products and a little tub for your damp cloths and your detergents. Hooks are great for doors. These ones are removable. You don't have to drill them in, and you can hold your gloves and your brushes. And probably my favourite little tip for under the sink are these extendable shower curtain poles. You'll find them in the bathroom section in the hardware store. You don't have to drill them. They spring load and just pop into place. And they're ideal for holding paper towel, little trigger bottles and damp cloths. So a couple of hours work and a little bit of thought can honestly do wonders for your daily kitchen routine.
Come on, they've been ages. When it comes to the bathroom, some things just take a little bit longer than what they should. Come on. It's not what you think. I'm talking about making improvements in here, of course, and sometimes it's the smaller projects that can have the biggest impact. So I'm going to show you a couple of quick and easy things you can do in your bathroom for big results. First up, a common problem we see with older bathrooms like this one is grout that is cracking. Water can get behind, mould can start growing, timber can start rotting out, and the problem just gets bigger and bigger. The proper way to do it is to use caulking. The first thing I need to do is start removing this grout. So now I'll go over all the joins with a mould killer, and that will ensure no mould will grow from the back of the tiles once it's all sealed up. Once the mould killer's been on for around 30 seconds, you can wipe it down with some clean water. With everything cleaned down, we know that we've stopped the mould from behind the wall. Now it's important when we're picking a sealant to choose one that's not only waterproof, but will also stop mould from growing in the future, like this one here. Now, when it comes to applying the sealant, whether it be in your bathroom or kitchen, if you're not feeling that confident, you can tape up the wall and the bottom surface. Otherwise, if you're feeling confident, you can just fill up the joint and spray the whole lot down with some soapy water and tool it off. Also, this product is fast skinning, so you only get 5 to 10 minutes of working life. So it's good to work in small sections. And I'm using a small tube for a one-off job, and they're also great for hard-to-reach areas. Don't be afraid to go over the joint again to make sure that it's fully sealed, because you don't want any of the soapy water getting behind the joint. Otherwise, the corking won't stick. And that looks so much better than before. And with this product, you can use your bath or your shower an hour after applying it. But you just want to make sure that you don't touch the sealant. Next job is this ugly looking architrave. It's a common problem when you've got one near a shower because you're always hopping in and out, there's water pooling around this area, and eventually it gets into the timber and you end up with this gross looking architrave. Now there's only one way to fix it, that's to rip it off the wall and start all over again. Now because I couldn't match this architrave exactly, I'm replacing the whole lot. The new architrave cut, there's a few things we need to keep in mind to prevent this problem from happening again. The first one would be, I'd advise against burying the architrave into the floor tile. The second one is once you've made your cut, you want to seal your cut edges before you sit the architrave in place. And finally, when you do sit the architrave in place, you just want to slip a couple of mil packers underneath, which will leave you with a space once this architrave is nailed off. That way we can come along and we can put our corking in there, and that will prevent water from getting into our timber and rotting it out again. Once all your architraves are on, it's a matter of just going over the whole lot with a fresh lick of paint. Had a bath together, we fixed a rotted out architrave. Now it's time you join me in the shower. What am I doing in here? Well, I'm going to replace this old shower rose. It looks disgusting and you can see that it's starting to rust out. So putting on a new one will freshen this whole shower area, but also it's going to be more water efficient. To do it, it's a matter of just undoing a thread and then threading on a new one. Something to remember when you're putting your Teflon tape on is to put it in the right direction. So if you're going to be threading your shower head that way, that is the way your Teflon tape needs to go on. Otherwise, it will just undo as you're doing up your shower head. That looks a lot better. And not only that, the wife will love me because the water bill will be a little bit cheaper. So if you've been holding off on fixing some of those common problems around your bathroom, with the right step-by-step approach, it will be a lot quicker and easier than you think. So give it a go and you can thank me later. Industrial style, it just keeps getting more and more popular, which means quality pieces in that style get more expensive, but not if you make it yourself. And what I'm making, well, you don't need to be a chippy. It's super simple and cheap. I'm making an industrial style serving tray, and the only tools you're gonna need is a handsaw, a paintbrush, and a cordless drill to put it all together. First thing I need to do is take some measurements and cut it to size. Now, the way it works, these two smaller ones, they go underneath, and that's going to be the top of our board. Then the longer lengths just sit on top. And once you're happy with the position, we're going to pre-drill it all and screw it off. Now, you might think that this looks more like the bottom than the top, but you'll find out soon enough why I've put these here. Next up, I need to give the whole thing a coat of black paint. paint dry, I'm just going over the whole thing with some sandpaper, and you can see what that is doing is taking the top layer off and exposing the blonde timber underneath. Once I've done the whole board, I'll then go over it with some exterior varnish, which is going to give it that aged industrial look. And our final industrial touch is this galvanised pipe. I'm going to make 2 of them, and they're going to be handles on each side, and they literally just thread together. See, I told you it was simple, and you don't have to have some inner city loft warehouse apartment thingy to have this industrial cool serving tray at your place. So give it a crack and share it with us on our socials. I'm just going to go and enjoy my serving tray now.
You know, one of the great joys of gardening is to harvest your own fresh vegetables from your own patch, or maybe picking some beautiful fresh flowers to pop into a vase. Now, I've got some great ideas, little tips that you might like to try this weekend. First up is what you can grow in planters. If you don't have a garden bed, but you'd still like to grow some herbs and veggies, maybe some flowers, you've got to go hanging baskets. Now, I'm going to use sphagnum moss. I want it nice and light, but I want it to retain the moisture. And sphagnum moss, look at that. It's just fantastic at lining your baskets. What we're doing is making up our very own growing medium. It's more than a potting mix because it has to be light but hold plenty of moisture. What have we got? Vermiculite, nice and light but holds moisture. Seed raising mix, drains well, but peat moss will hold the moisture. It's a simple case of mixing them 1-to-1 equal ratio. I'm going to have a mix of flowers and herbs planted into the side. Firstly, some beautiful lobelia. Poke the plants from the inside through the holes, and the plants will recover in no time. If you're into Asian cooking, well, you'd have to go for some kangkong, nice and tall. This is the water spinach. How about this beautiful new beetle leaf spilling over? You couldn't beat sorrel, even on the colour, but the flavour's terrific. And then some regulars, maybe sage, chives, parsley, of course, and you can't beat some chilies. Now, what's missing? Yes, mint, but it becomes very invasive, takes over the garden. So we're going to plant it into a terracotta pot, and then it'll keep it contained. And of course, we've got to add some colour, some beautiful flowers to bring in the pollinators. When you're finished, all you need to do is hang it up. Maybe water it once a week, and then you've got your herbal harvest on a hanger ready for your next stir-fry or Italian dish. Now, it's important to keep your vegetables and your herbs protected while they're growing before the harvest. And of course, it's insects in particular you've got to worry about. Now, you don't need to use chemicals. There is an alternative. Here's what they are. They're cloches or little plastic domes. They've got a nice wide mouth that just fits over the top of your seedlings. Now, if it's a little bit windy, or if you've got dogs or possums running through, there are these little pins that you can just pop in and secure them down into the ground like so. Very simple, easy to use. There's also one little advantage. It's a vent on the top that acts as a little mini greenhouse. So if you want to let the heat out during the middle of the day or keep it nice and warm, just turn the vent around at night. Simple, easy, don't cost much, and they work a treat. Now, sometimes in the middle of the season, you end up with a glut, a whole range of harvests that you just can't do anything with. Now, you give some to the neighbours, some to friends, but you've still got a lot left over. So what do you do with it? Well, here's a great solution. My idea is actually to preserve and dry out some of those herbs, flowers and fruits that you want to keep for use later on in the year. What you'll need are 3 old picture frames, and then cut yourself some fly wire roughly the same size as the picture frame, and then just staple the fly screen onto the frame. Now the idea is really simple. Just with the 3 frames, they're connected together using some chain. Now you'll need to drill some holes in the top frame, on the top and on the bottom, to put your cup hooks into. Then it's just a case of finding a good spot to hang it. Now in this case, on the bottom rung, I'm putting in some basil. Now you can use it to preserve the leaves and dry the leaves for later use, or you can collect the seed. Now on the next rack, let your parsley go to flower and seed. Collect the flowers and leave them there, and the seed will just drop into the frame. And add in some chilies and let those dry as well. On the top one, I've got some blue lake beans, some bay leaves, and some marigolds, a really simple old one that you just can't buy. And of course you can make the frames in different sizes and get a bit artistic if you like. You could also use an old coat hanger for herbs, like the curry bush and rosemary, hang it in the kitchen, and that's the best way when it's right at hand to use it fresh. Now, any of these ideas you can put into use in your garden this weekend. Maybe try something a little bit different, like growing pink bananas. Good gardening.